Our daily Bible reading for January 23rd. Our reading today comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 12. We'll be reading verses 1 through 21. Matthew chapter 12. At that time, Jesus went through the grainfields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, and they began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath." He said to them, "Have you not read what David did when he was hungry, and those who were with him? How he entered the house of God and ate the bread of the presence, which is not lawful for him to eat, nor for those who were with him, but only for the priests? Or have you not read in the law how on the Sabbath the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are guiltless? I tell you, something greater than the temple is here. And if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." He went on from there and entered their synagogue, and a man was there with a withered hand. And they asked him, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" so that they might accuse him. He said to them, "Which of you who has a sheep, if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will not take hold of it and lift it out? Of how much more value is a man than a sheep? So it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And the man stretched it out, and it was restored, healthy like the other. But the Pharisees went out and conspired against him, how to destroy him. Jesus, aware of this, withdrew from there, and many followed him, and he healed them all, and ordered them not to make him known. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. "Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved with whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will proclaim justice to the Gentiles. He will not quarrel or cry aloud, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench, until he brings justice to victory. And in his name the Gentiles will hope." A few thoughts for today. There is a show that has become very popular in recent years. Its premise is that people bring objects to a professional appraiser to find their worth. Some of these are little more than trinkets thought to be of small value by others, yet in fact are worth a great deal of money. In some cases are rare finds worth small fortunes. The best part of the show for many people is when the person is told how valuable their possession is and the look of shock on their faces. Finding real treasures in life is an unexpected and rare treat for some fortunate few. Rarely will we realize a treasure when we see it. Only when some things are shown in light of their rarity or their background will they realize their true worth. When the Pharisees and their critical eye beheld the disciples eating grain, they were quick to point out the laws which were broken. Jesus reminds them of an act in the life of David that set a precedent for their actions, and in connecting the events shows that he himself was Lord of the Sabbath, and as such was greater than the temple. No doubt the Pharisees would not accept the teaching of Jesus that he had put before them. How shocked they would have been to truly have realized the worth of the one who stood before them. What a shame to let a rare jewel slip through their fingers. What a shame today when that pearl of great price is passed by. And a question of the day. Have you ever thought of the worth of salvation and what a great price was paid for your soul? And finally, a thought to meditate on this day. There are few things, if any, that hold its value like wisdom. Treasure the scriptures that you have read today as your most prized possession. And those are our thoughts for today, January 23rd.